thank you so much for being here. We're gonna get started. It is indeed my honor and privilege to introduce tonight's guest of honor. I don't think he really needs a lot of introduction, but General Smith, sir, thank you. The floor is yours. So thanks for letting me be here tonight. A couple of very quick thank yous have already really been done, but a couple of to reinforce, and then I got a couple things to say. General Cerroti and the board who put this on, the people sponsoring Patriots, thank you. So this is our professional association. And that word professional and professionalism, you're going to hear a whole lot from in whatever capacity I'm in, because it is all about being professional. It's the command First Battalion Marines, and their motto is "Make peace or die." But their official motto, if you look in the history division, who's never officially changed, their motto from their city, and not in the Corps, is "Fight and dream protection." I like that one actually better. Make peace or die, because it's all about professionalism. So this is our professional organization. So it's a privilege to be here. And again, to the board who does so much, we are incredibly grateful to you, General Cerroti, and for those who support this association. Because it goes far beyond mission control. It goes into the tens and tens and tens of thousands of Marines who have a place to have a professional dialogue, discussion. So thanks for it. We called out a lot of people. I won't redo it. I'm going to get up here and have a mic and not call it last because that'd be bad. So I would call out Chris, who's doing a lot of pro bono work. And, she's a Marine spouse, also a Marine mom. Although it's funny because every time my son, okay, quick story. Our son's deployed, and he went to from Okinawa. He went to Kuwait. He did 7 months in Wagner, and at the end of this thing, he had to go up into outside for about. If I came up there, good. He went up into Iraq. Of course, I'm checking this on triple net. And he has to escort an army colonel up there, and he's told to come back and run the colonel. Here twice. Oh yeah, I'll stay here. So he stands some pose. He helps do some inventory. He's a loggy, and they take a couple of 120s. Anybody who's been to outside knows that's not an uncommon thing. And they took a couple of 120 millimeter rockets, not even close to him, but still. So I'm tracking that too. And he gets back down and he says, "Hey, Dad, I was up north." I said, "Oh, I know. I'm watching." And he said, and while I was up there, we took a couple of rounds, a couple of 120s. Yeah, tracking that too. And as a father, I was not really happy. As a Marine, I was like, "Yeah, go get some." And so then he tells me, I've served with General Tulin and many of you a couple of months worth in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I don't know how many rockets we took into Camp Fallujah, 30 a day. So he takes two, and he says, "So Dad, I don't know if you're tracking." This is over the phone. Right? He's about to fly back. He goes, "But when you take incoming, what you want to do? You want to?" I didn't bust his bubble. I was like, "Wow, that is great advice." And so the Trish says, she's, "Oh, I'm very scared. This is terrible." Like, "Hey, what about you? You'll be fine." So it's different when you send your son. The other person I will acknowledge is Andrea Ruiz. Sergeant Major Ruiz's lovely bride. She is a retired Marine, Master Sergeant, crash fire rescue. She's a contracting official. She's a working mom. She's got a 15-year-old at home. They just moved into a new house. She's still finishing a couple of boxes. And she and her plus one are here tonight. And a black belt. And we try not to go too many places not together because we're extremely fortunate to have the 20 Sergeant Major Marine Corps and his wife Andrea here. because he is going to be the best thing going for the Marine Corps for a while. We also rode over together, so I have to be really nice. What I would tell you, just 3 quick kind of points. It's who you are as an association, what's happening in your Marine Corps right now, and what I need from you. Because I always have an ask. I was trained well. I have an ask. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm going to ask you for something on behalf of the Marines. Who you are as an association, or those who support this association. You are the place, the vessel by and through which Marines can express themselves. And they have to do so professionally. Because if you're not professional, if you're not pithy, if you're not correct, if you will, Woody's not going to publish you. Because you have to meet journalistic standards. This place is hard. I send stuff in pretty much monthly, and I get rejected. And that's not that far from true. He published my one letter, but thanks for that, Woody. But that cost me a little bit of money. But it causes us to be more professional. Whether you're writing for 11X or the Gazette, whether you're one of these award recipients or not, it causes you to step up your game because it is the professional organization. And the only way we're going to make our recruiting goals, we made it last year, we're going to make it this year. Today I talked to the district commanders, all 6 of them, plus the Eastern and Western Recruiting Region and the Commanding General Recruiting Command. We will make mission, but it's hard. They're working hard. Our son's a recruiter right now. He sent me a note today. It's a street, but he asks me questions all the time. I send it back, and it always says, "Love you, son. Make mission. Simplify, Dad." That's it. That's the truth. Make mission. Because if he comes home, he's living with me. I don't want that. They're working hard, but you provide them the opportunity because we're professional. If we lose our professionalism, we will lose our draw. We'll lose our brand. We'll lose who we are because we don't recruit anybody. We attract a lot of people. We attract people. So that's what this organization does. The libraries that you provide, the opportunities for travel, professional military education that you provide. You have no idea. Like there's our industry partners and our sponsors. You make a trophy, right? You make this. And Napoleon said it. Men will fight long and hard for a colored piece of ribbon. It's a fact. You provide a eagle, globe, and anchor statue. Marines will fight like dogs for that. And they need the recognition. And that's what this body does. And when you're a young sergeant or a young captain, that is a significant emotional event. You come up on the stage, have your picture made, Sergeant Major, with General Mahoney, with General Tulin, General Schroeder, and the hand you something says, "We value you." And the graciousness of this particular organization enables that. And I can't produce that on my own. You produce that for us. You do, as Chuck Schroeder said, you fill the gap between what I can legally do and what you can do as an entity now of the Marine Corps. That's a little squishy on the legal side, but basically we no longer have to ask permission for the band to be here. We've worked through all that legal hurdle, so you have special status, which is appropriate. So that's you, and that's a lot. What's your Marine Corps doing? The Marine Corps to whom you are being professional, offering professional venues for. Here's what's going on in your Marine Corps right now, and I'm pretty proud of this. Today, as I speak, and within the last 30 days, we had a 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit was down executing Talisman Sabre, big exercise with our partners throughout the region because the South China Sea has gotten no calmer of late, sadly. So they're executing this major exercise, amphibious operations with our Japanese partners, our Indonesian partners, our Australian partners. And then, boom, we need to go to Papua New Guinea. SecDef had just met with the Prime Minister, President, and said, "Hey, we have volcanic eruption. We need you." Boom, we can do that because we have this beautiful thing called the USS America, and we divert. The America goes, and the only platform that can fly 500 miles inland and deliver heavy lift supplies, Ospreys 53s to people who need it most. Simultaneously, We got the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit Special Operations capable. First time we put a SOC moniker on a MEU in 10 years. They took off. They immediately started doing split amphibious ready group operations. They go through Greece. There's some significant wildfires. Then one ship heads up to Norway, offloading, exercising, working with our NATO partners on Russia's flank to give them something to think about. Task Force 61-2, led by General Drew Pretty, is currently in and around the Baltics, doing work for Yukon, shall we say. They're helping identify things that shouldn't be there. The other two ships of the yard, the amphibious ready group, through the Suez Canal, through the Straits of Bab el-Mandeb. They're up in the Strait of Hormuz. They're in that area as a option, should the Secretary choose to use it, to thwart and deal with Iranian aggression. While that's going on, we just finished the largest Unitas ever from Mar4 Res down in the Southcom area of responsibility. And we have a squadron of B-22s along with some KC-130Js working out of Djibouti to support two programs, AFRICOM and UCOM. Mike Langley's got his hands full in AFRICOM. All that's happening within the last 30 days of your Marine Corps. Simultaneously, we're modernizing. Force design, I don't say force design 2030 because then we do force design 2035, and it's force design, which is the righteous destination of staying ahead of the adversary, being able to deal with a peer competitor. I hope that fight doesn't come, but if it does, we don't have the option to say, that's not our thing. We just deal with crisis response. You have to be ready for a peer competitor, and if you are, you will be ready for the lesser included defenses. You will. Been there, done that. Trained against the Soviet Motorized Rifle Regiment as a lieutenant. Did just fine doing a couple of NEOs in Africa, in Liberia and Central African Republic. I was in Liberia, not Central African Republic. I sent my first sergeant. I did. Alan Slater, he took off. That didn't go over well with the new commander. But I was a senior guy on the ship, and it was so we sent First Sergeant Slater. True story. Trish knows that. We can do all that. That's what the Corps is doing. We're modernizing. We just fired a full-size Tomahawk off of Joint Light Tactical Vehicles. Think about that, full-size Tomahawk. In 2 years, we took it from only being loaded in a ship vertically to putting it in a box ashore, then to putting it on a truck that's the size of a Ford F-250. So kind of to America, sometimes I want to say, you're welcome. Because that's mobility, that's lethality, that's firepower. We've got our MQ-9 Alpha extended range operates called Cactus. They just hit 20,000 flight hours mishap-free in the CENTCOM area of responsibility working for General Kurilla. 2 aircraft, 20,000 hours. And they also just pushed out of the Philippines during exercise Balakatan, which General Tulin and I know all too well. All that is happening simultaneously. Modernization while we're still doing crisis response. As long as we have the amphibious shipping, we can do it. We're globally deployable. And then the final thing I'll say, George Smith, our 1MEF commander, just retired, 38 years in the Marine Corps. And at his retirement, we talked about what 1MEF had done. They pushed F-35s, F-18s under their own power, our own KC-130s from California down into Australia. Hey, we're globally deployable. We fly Ospreys from Australia to Hawaii, and we've flown them from California to Rio de Janeiro, and we've flown them from Korea through the Philippines back to Hawaii, bouncing through Guam. We're globally deployable on our own. So all these things are happening in your Marine Corps today, and we're pretty proud of that, and you should be too. And the reason I tell you that is because that's what you support when you come here and support the Marine Corps Association. That's what you do. You enable those professional Marines to have a place to discuss and to debate and to make those things happen as we continue pressing forward with force design and as we do bottom-up refinement of our targeting data that enables us to also be globally responsive to campaigning or crisis response. You do that. The final thing I'll say is what I need from you, the ask. And this is pretty easy. Well, really just one thing. You all have, and you run in circles that I don't run in. Some of you run in circles I don't want to run in. I was looking at Chuck Schroeder when I said that. Y'all have, and I'm not even talking professionally. Professionally, you certainly do, whether it be industry or any other professional organization. But even at home, you are or know members of your local school boards, members of, we have a mayor sitting here. And I do fish the Occoquan. And I do fish all around there. So I'll tell you a joke about our Sec Nav and my fishing and his dock at the end of this thing. But so thanks again for what you do, because we have lots of Marines living in your city, Mr. Mayor. So thank you. Just go tell your story, because you are in places I cannot be, because you're in the community now. Sadly, I don't now. I don't move now. But we're always on the move, so I don't have roots. You have roots, and we need you to just tell your story about the Marine Corps, because everybody here is a Marine, active or veteran, or you love Marines. I mean, everybody loves Marines, but everybody loves a Marine. You have somebody who's a Marine. You can tell the story. And what we need is to reconnect the American public with their Marine Corps. They need to know what I just told you, and you can amplify that. You can be a megaphone for us. The value of service. That's the big thing. I'm good on the amphibs. I'll work that. Navy, Congress has clearly spoken about amphibs and what they value. I met with the Secretary of Defense today. We talked about budgets. We'll get there. But you're the amplifying force for the Marine Corps, because recruiting is a challenge right now, because people don't see the connectivity between themselves and something greater than themselves. I think deep down everybody wants to. Gen Z is not weak, and they're not selfish. They are, in fact, altruistic, and they want to do something. Gen A is coming. They're 10 years old right now. We got to figure that out. But we just need you to tell your story. What is it about the Marine Corps that you know? And if you help us reconnect, that solves about half the world's problems. Because there's a fight coming, I believe, and our job is to either prevent it, minimize it, or win it really fast. And that's what the young Marines, the whole saying about nobody likes to fight, but somebody has to know how, that is not true. Marines like to fight. They want to fight. They're ready. I got to hold them back on any given day. Sergeant Major Reese and I were just out at one MEF, and we kind of speed dated our way through the MEF. They are phenomenal. Those Marines are awesome. And we did a couple of meritorious promotions, a couple of them unannounced. I mean, Marines who were living in dirt and filth in the Philippines, building runways, and all they asked, we want to go back, ready to go back. Heavy equipment operators. So we promoted one of them to Sergeant meritoriously. Got her mom on FaceTime. That was fun. Because we first called her mom. She's like, "Who is this?" Hey, ma'am, this is General Eric Smith. I'm the assistant commandant. Telemarketer. Boom. But we got her back. We did the promotion. It was great. I need you to help me tell those stories. So use the Marine Corps webpage and just amplify the stories. That's all I need you to do. That's my sole ask. And keep supporting this spectacular organization who donates so much. And if you can come to these dinners, please do, because I think it's next week is CD&I. I'll be at that one, and I try not to miss. I do have to miss some, and I guess I can say it as the SACMAC. So General Mahoney is known as the Jack Mac. So as you know, General Mahoney has been formally nominated by President Biden to be the next assistant commandant. So because I'm still the assistant commandant, I'm the senior ACMAC, and he's the junior ACMAC. So the Marines started, I heard it in the hallway. They're like, "Hey, have you seen the SACMAC?" And I'm like, and then they see me and they're like, "Oh, sir, no, you're fine. Don't." And they're like, "Oh, he's talking to Jack Mac." I'm like, "Who?" And it's funny, they coughed it up. They said, "Sir, you're the senior ACMAC. He's the junior ACMAC." So one of us will always, if confirmed, will always be at these, because they're so vitally important. And it's just important that you come and you just see the look on the faces of sergeants, staff sergeants, gunnies, captains, majors, who are presented something that you provided, just by your presence. It's a huge deal, because we don't pay them all that much. We deploy them. We send them to crazy places like, the vicinity of Ukraine or in. We work them really hard. They are literally going to bed sweaty and dirty, and they're loving every minute of it. All they want is some recognition. They just want you to say, "You know what? I acknowledge what you did on behalf of America." That's all they want. That's all they want. A little promotion here and there. maybe a little bit of money, but they're okay. They just want the recognition, and y'all provide that. So my ask is help us tell our story, and please continue to support MCA because it does way more than because I see it every day. And for the board, Schroeder and all the leadership, you have my gratitude. You have the gratitude of Trish, Sergeant Major Ruiz, Andrea Ruiz, and every Marine who is here tonight. And we got a few of the general officers, who are all here. We're here because, and the SESs, sorry about that, Ms. Layla, because we care about you because we know you care about us. So thanks for hosting. Chuck, if you invite Mo or I in whatever capacity as the SAC Mac or the Jack Mac, we will always be here because you're always here for us. Thanks. Semper Fidelis.
Mo, you're still my date, so it doesn't matter what you are, what the ACMAC calls you. So we're just gonna
All right, well, good evening once again. We close this annual meeting of the Corps' Professional Association by reestablishing a program that was started over 20 years ago. In July 1995, the editor of the Marine Corps Gazette was the larger-than-life Colonel John Edson Greenwood, who retired in 1980 after 30 years commissioned service and subsequently spent more than 20 years with the magazine. We're proud to have Colonel Greenwood's eldest son, Eric, with us tonight, representing the Greenwood family. Even though Eric was a Coast Guard officer, he represents a true Marine Corps family. I just read what I'm given here. Today, there have been Greenwoods serving as officers of Marines continuously since 1950. As editor of the Marine Corps Gazette, Colonel Greenwood was dedicated to advancing the professional journal as a forum for the exchange of ideas concerning the continuous evolution of Marine Corps capabilities. So, in October 1995, he established a program to salute some of our younger authors who are making significant and continuing contributions to the intellectual side of the Corps. And the Distinguished Marine Corps Gazette Authors Group was first announced. Some of the original authors will be recognizing tonight. That original group truly contains some of the clearest thinkers, most talented writers, and dedicated students, teachers, and practitioners of the profession of arms. Marines like Lieutenant Colonel R. Scott Moore, Lieutenant General Bernard E. McTrainer, Major John Schmidt, Lieutenant Colonel John Hoffman, and Colonel T.X. Hamas. All made enduring contributions to the intellectual side of the Corps, and we shall endeavor to continue that tradition into the future. Today, the MCA and the Gazette reestablished stewardship of the Distinguished Authors Program with formalized criteria, certificates for the recipients, and a commemorative perpetual award to be maintained in the Gazette's offices. The criteria to qualify for the certificate are to have published a minimum of 10 articles in the Gazette and to have accomplished one of the following achievements: placing in one of the Gazette's annual writing contests, or having at least one article published in another professional military journal, or publishing a book as either the primary author or as a contributing author or editor. Our intent is that recognition in this exclusive group of authors serves as an incentive to continue the Corps' tradition of professional discourse and to inspire future thought leaders in our Corps. The following authors from among both the original group of Colonel Greenwood's day and today's authors have met these criteria and are hereby inducted into the Distinguished Authors Program. Please join us on stage when your name is called. First up is Colonel Mark F. Kansian. Next is Colonel Eric L. Chase. Colonel Scott A. Cuomo. Captain Michael A. Hansen. Lieutenant Colonel Frank G. Hoffman. Captain Walker D. Mills. Lieutenant Colonel Arun Shankar. Lieutenant Colonel John Hoffman. Major Paul L. Stokes. And finally, Lieutenant Colonel Brian A. Kurg, a new recipient of the certificate, but he is on Okinawa currently serving as the Northeast Asia Plans Officer, 3MEF G5, and not surprisingly, couldn't be with us in person due to operational commitments. You can read a brief history of the program and short biographies of all the authors by scanning the QR code in tonight's program. Please join me in a round of applause for all the new plank holders of the Gazette Distinguished Authors Program.
So it looks like we're lining up for a prize or something like that. We already issued that. That's good. To the ACMAC, sir, thank you for those words of inspiration. I would hate to be your son's battalion commander. I was just sitting there while you were like the direct line to you. I don't know how that works, but that's great. That's good. Yeah. Or missing mission on recruiting duty. I don't know how that works either, but yeah, that's good. But God bless him. All right. So the battalion commander and your son as well too, but that's good. Yeah. My daughter tells me the same thing. So yeah, doesn't last long, but it's good. Anyway, sir, thank you for those words of inspiration. And again, for your leadership to you and Trish for all that great things. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the point of the night where I've got to go home to sleep, but no. Coming to the point of the night where we want to just bid farewell and thank again all of you for a phenomenal evening, for your continued support, and really truly for not only supporting this association, but more importantly, as the ACMAC has said, for supporting our Marines throughout the Marine Corps. And if anybody doubts that the Marines are not expeditionary, I think we've just removed that doubt from the room. And so, because there are some that believe that we no longer have that moniker with us. But I think we know differently. So thank you for enlightening us again, ACMAC, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all safe travels home. Thank you for being here, and Semper Fidelis.
I'm infantry officer transitioning to